Bitcoin Hyper has just reached a major milestone. Over $30 million raised in the presale. And this comes at a time when the market focus is clearly shifting, away from pure Layer 1 narratives and toward real Layer 2 utility. Looking ahead to 2026, there are strong indications that this cycle will no longer be driven by big promises, but by actual usage, transactions, and working applications. This is exactly where Bitcoin Hyper positions itself. Quick note up front, you'll find the link to the presale in the description below if you want to take a closer look at Hyper yourself. Let's start with the bigger picture. 2025 has clearly shown how important Layer 2 networks have become. Fees, user activity, and DeFi volume are increasingly moving away from base layers and towards scaling solutions. Bitcoin itself has been moving sideways below the resistance around $90,000 since Boxing Day. Price action continues to react strongly to macro factors such as interest rate expectations and global liquidity. For many investors, however, that is no longer enough as a long-term narrative. They are looking for projects that generate real demand, not just through storytelling, but through actual usage. And this is where Bitcoin's structural problem becomes apparent. The base layer was never designed to handle mass transaction throughput for trading, gaming, or payments. If everything stays on Layer 1, congestion and high fees are inevitable. That is why Layer 2 solutions have become so critical across the entire crypto market. The issues with many of these approaches, however, is that activity moves up the stack while the base token barely benefits. Applications boom, but the underlying coin remains passive. Bitcoin Hyper aims to close exactly this gap. Bitcoin Hyper is a high-performance Layer 2 for Bitcoin that uses the Solana virtual machine as its execution layer. This enables extremely fast transactions, low fees, and a modern architecture capable of handling heavy application load without issues. At the same time, settlement and security remain anchored to Bitcoin. In practical terms, this means payments, trading, gaming, and other high-frequency use cases run on Bitcoin Hyper, while final sentiment happens on Bitcoin itself. Scalability on top, security at the base layer, without bypassing or diluting Bitcoin. The presale strongly supports this thesis. More than $30 million raised, a current price of around $0.0135 per hyper, and additional price stages are already announced. This is not a coincidence. Capital is currently flowing specifically into infrastructure projects, especially those that combine scalability with real value capture. Investors are not betting on just another Layer 2 experiment, but on solutions that keep Bitcoin at the center of economic activity. That's the core of Bitcoin Hyper, scaling Bitcoin usage without pushing Bitcoin to the sidelines. Community attention is also growing. Crypto influencers such as Claybro and Borscht Crypto have already covered the project and see it as a potential new Bitcoin narrative. A shift away from purely digital gold toward a mix of store of value, digital cash, and DeFi infrastructure built on Bitcoin. More everyday usage, more transactions, more interactions, directly or indirectly tied to Bitcoin, but executed on a high-performance Layer 2. Anyone interested in participating in the presale can purchase Hyper via the official website. Supported assets include Sol, Ethereum, USDT, USDC, BNB, and even credit card payments. For wallets, a non-custodial option like Best Wallets recommended. Hyper is already listed there under upcoming tokens. Buying, tracking, and later claiming are all handled through a single interface, without unnecessary friction. Bottom line, Bitcoin Hyper positions itself right at the intersection of Bitcoin as a store of value and real on-chain utility. And if the 2026 cycle develops the way it is currently shaping up, Layer 2 solutions like this could play a decisive role. If you want to take a closer look at Bitcoin Hyper, remember, the presale link is in the description. Feel free to leave a comment with your thoughts on the project, subscribe to the channel, and drop a like if the video was helpful. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.